Good evening. You are watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Namsur. And for our top stories for today, chartered flights to Seoul and Frankfurt will be organized. Mongolian community living in Ireland conducted an initiative to provide support to local medical professionals. Donald Trump announced temporary suspension of immigration. And for all the news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases held its daily press briefing to provide the latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia.
The National Center for Communicable Diseases reports that no new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed on April the 23rd. All 26 people isolated at Darkhanol and Seoul provinces, which have been in contact with the truck driver, tested negative. 159 people who are under observation at the National Center for Communicable Diseases also tested negative. The Ministry of Health informs that those who enter into Mongolia through the northern border should be tested and isolated in Darkhanol, as the new testing laboratory is fully operational there. Laboratory assistants and the necessary medical team have been deployed there from the National Center for Communicable Diseases. The director of the NCCD reminds people that they should not spread false, unconfirmed information related to COVID-19 and to trust only official sources or the daily joint press briefing. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization advises all companies and offices to practice flexible working arrangements in order to prevent any further outbreak of COVID-19.
Mongolian citizens living and working abroad have requested repatriation from the Mongolian government. So, State Emergency Commission convened and made a decision to send 2 chartered flights to Asian and European countries. Chartered flights to Seoul will be made on 30th of this month, and the flights to Germany will be made on 2nd of May. Passengers must be tested for coronavirus within 48 hours.
Around 500 Mongolian citizens will be repatriated with those chartered flights. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that next repatriations will be made depending on the current situation of hospitals and staff capacity. From the people who requested repatriation, 1,452 have children, 376 people have health conditions, 854 are senior citizens, 141 are pregnant women, and 813 people are having financial difficulties, and 2,670 people have other reasons. Officials noted that repatriation from South Korea has been conducted a number of times since the country has the most number of Mongolians working and living in it. We have a limited number of planes, so please understand that these 500 people will be repatriated from Asia and Europe and not from just one location. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs presented plans to the State Emergency Commission on how to solve these issues with Mongolian citizens in difficult situations and financial problems. The possibility of new confirmed cases being imported with these chartered flights is high. Students under the age of 18 who have been tested for coronavirus will be among the repatriated citizens. The Emergency Commission noted that they do not have the capacity to repatriate students above the age of 18. We have a very limited resources. We are preparing to quarantine housing before initiating another chartered flight. I would like to highlight that there are a number of preparations and precautionary measures that need to be taken for any chartered flight. Repatriated citizens will be quarantined at the National Center for Communicable Diseases. Chartered flights are allowing citizens of European Union countries to return to their homeland. The State Emergency Commission noted that the current number of foreign citizens who wish to take this chartered flight has not yet been determined.
Thank you for staying with us, and here's our next story. China will focus on increasing coal and oil transports. The Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia, In received the Chinese ambassador to Mongolia, Chai Wen-ru, and exchanged views on emerging economical issues and coal exports.
The Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia, In received the Chinese ambassador to Mongolia, Chai Wen-ru. The Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia thanked the ambassador for the assistance provided by the neighboring country in the prevention of COVID-19 infection in Mongolia. He said that coronavirus prevention was a top priority at the moment, but it was also important for both countries to work together to intensify economic activities. In particular, there is a need to increase the export of mining products to the People's Republic of China. In the past, from 1,500 to 1,700 vehicles used to go through border ports each day, but today there are about 100. Therefore, the Deputy Prime Minister asked the ambassador to take the issue into consideration. Ambassador Chai Wen-ru has promised to increase coal shipments as well. At a local level, it is possible to increase the number of shipments through coordination between the two countries' border crossings. During the meeting, 2 human body heat sensors manufactured by Dahua Technologies of China were donated to the State Special Commission.
You are watching News Mongolian MNB World. And now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Our next story is from our special reporter in Ireland, Mr. Undrach. Ireland is one of the many countries suffering from COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. We have reported in our previous reports about the initiative of Mongolian communities in foreign countries, and this time the community of Mongolians in Ireland conducted a fundraising campaign to help their homeland in order to support medical staff and physicians in these difficult times.
Currently, more than 1,500 Mongolian nationals are residing and working in Ireland. When the international community is taking all measures to fight the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the community of Mongolians in Ireland initiated a fundraising campaign to support medical staff in Mongolia. As part of this campaign, 9,000 face masks and 300 hand sanitizers were gathered and delivered to staff at state hospitals in Mongolia. As the next step, the community of Mongolians in Ireland initiated a campaign, Help the Country We Live In, and raised funds through social media and online platforms.
The Mongolian community has organized a fundraising under the name to express our gratitude to Ireland, to show our appreciation for the brave frontline workers, doctors, and nurses who are working so hard in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic.
I would just like to express our sincere thanks to the Mongolian community of Ireland for their incredible donation of €7,500. This donation will greatly support our frontline staff and also enhance patient care in the Mater Public Hospital. Thank you all so much.
Currently, the number of COVID-19 infected people in Ireland has passed 16,000 and the number of deaths has reached 150. The government of Ireland announced an emergency regime and lockdown until the 5th of May. The social campaign with the push-up challenge initiated by Mongolians helped to raise necessary funds for purchasing protective gears. Men were called with the challenge to do 50 push-ups, women 30 and children 20. In this case, any person doing the challenge which could not complete the number of push-ups were asked to donate some amount towards this initiative. I am really happy that the campaign was supported by Mongolians living in Ireland.
I'm really happy for being able to take part in this initiative campaign. As many Mongolians are living here, many young people have obtained an education here, and we think that Ireland has provided us with many opportunities. Therefore, in this difficult time when the country is fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, Mongolians in Ireland joined hands and conducted this campaign within a short period of time.
Some Mongolians living in Ireland organized a charity sale of personal items to raise money and to donate it to medical institutions of the country. The initiative continued for 1 week and more than 200 Mongolian nationals took part in the campaign. Even though it's been closed, people are continuing transferring money to the initiative account. In addition, little children sent their paintings with warm words to doctors and medical staff in Ireland.
Here are the weather forecasts for the world's major cities. Well, that is all for today, and thank you for staying with us. We will see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.